In 1933, a mother in rural Mississippi fed her family of 6 on 10 cents a week. Not $10, 10 cents. She made soup every single night. Her children never went hungry. Her youngest son lived to 97. Number 7 on this list is so strange that most people refuse to believe it was ever real, but it fed thousands of families through the darkest winter America ever saw. And number 3 costs less than a single dollar to make today. These are the 15 forgotten poor man's soups from the 1930s that nobody makes anymore. Stay until the end. Number 1 will change how you think about food forever. Number 15. Ketchup soup. Depression families poured hot water over a spoonful of ketchup, added salt and a heel of stale bread, and called it tomato soup. It sounds impossible, but it kept millions of city families warm on nights when the cupboard had nothing left. Your grandmother didn't complain. She just made it work. Number 14. Potato peel soup. Nothing was thrown away in a 1930s kitchen, not even the peel. Families boiled potato skins with an onion and a pinch of salt until the broth turned thick and golden. It tasted far better than it had any right to. The part we throw in the trash today was dinner back then. Number 13. Dandelion green soup. Every spring, poor families walked their yards with a bucket and picked dandelions, the weed every American now poisons with herbicide. Boiled with garlic and a bone, it made a bright, bitter broth packed with more iron than spinach. We spray kill the most nutritious free food in America every single weekend. If nobody ever showed you these soups, hit subscribe right now, because we are just getting started and the next ones get a lot stranger. Number 12. Cornmeal mush soup. A handful of cornmeal stirred into salted boiling water until it thickened into a porridge-like soup. That was supper for entire families across the rural South. Cheap, filling, and ready in 10 minutes on a wood stove. It cost 3 cents and kept a family full until morning. Number 11. Milk and bread soup. Warm milk poured over torn chunks of stale bread. Pinch of sugar, pinch of salt. That was the soup poor families gave sick children and elderly grandparents when nothing else was available. Simple, soft, and surprisingly comforting. Every grandmother in America knew this recipe, and not one of them wrote it down. Number 10. Cabbage and bacon grease soup. 1 head of cabbage, a spoonful of saved bacon grease, water, and salt. The grease gave it a smoky depth that made it taste like something far more expensive than it was. A head of cabbage cost 2 cents in 1934. That 2-cent head of cabbage fed a family of 5 for 2 days straight. Number 9. Onion water soup. Just onions. Just water. Just salt. Sliced onions simmered for 40 minutes until the broth turned sweet and amber. No stock. No seasoning. Nothing else. French onion soup costs $18 in a restaurant today. In 1932, a poor family made the same thing for 2 cents and felt like royalty. Here is what nobody talks about. These soups were not eaten out of desperation alone. They were eaten with dignity. Mothers set the table. Children said grace. Fathers sat at the head. A bowl of ketchup soup on a proper plate at a proper table meant the family was still together, still standing, still whole. The bowl didn't matter. The table did. Number 8. Ham bone water soup. When the ham was gone, the bone went into a pot of water with whatever scraps were left. A carrot end, a wilted celery stalk, an onion skin. 3 hours of simmering pulled every last drop of flavor from that bone. Nothing that cost nothing ever tasted more like something. Number 7. Dirt soup. Yes, this was real. Desperate families in the Dust Bowl mixed clay-heavy soil from riverbanks into thin corn broth to add minerals and bulk when food was completely gone. It sounds unthinkable. It happened in Oklahoma, Kansas, and Texas in 1934. When the land stopped growing food, some families ate the land itself. Drop a comment right now. Did your grandmother ever make any soup? I want to know which one. Keep watching because number 3 is the one that surprises everybody. Number 6. Bean liquid soup. After the beans were eaten, poor families never threw away the cooking liquid. That thick, starchy broth was seasoned, reheated, and served as its own soup the next day. Zero waste, zero cost, zero complaints. The water the beans swam in became the meal that followed them. Number 5. Crackers and milk soup. Saltine crackers crumbled into warm whole milk with a pat of butter and a pinch of salt. Eaten as a full supper by children across rural America every winter night in the 1930s. It sounds like a snack. It was dinner. An entire generation grew up strong on crackers and milk and never once thought they were going without. Number 4. Wild mustard green soup. Poor families foraged wild mustard greens from roadsides and fields, boiled them twice to remove the bitterness, and simmered them in salted water with a piece of fatback. Free food from the ditch that tasted like something a Southern grandmother spent all day making. The best ingredients were always the ones nobody else thought to pick up. Number 3. Tomato and rice soup, the one that surprises everyone. A single can of tomatoes, a handful of rice, water, salt, and a spoonful of lard. That was it. The rice thickened the tomato broth into something that tasted like it simmered all afternoon. Total cost in 1935, 7 cents. Total cost today, under $1. You can make this tonight, and it will taste exactly like 1935 felt. Number 2. Grease and flour soup, the one nobody admits existed. Bacon drippings whisked into hot water with a spoonful of flour, salt, and black pepper until it thickened into a pale gravy-like broth. Poor Appalachian families ate this as a full meal poured over cornbread on the worst nights of the Depression. It had no right to be as filling as it was, but it was. Number 1. Nothing soup, the most honest name in American food history. Boiling water, salt, and whatever was left, a wilted onion, a soft potato, a heel of bread, a scraping of lard from the bottom of the jar. No recipe, no measurements, no name until families started calling it exactly what it was. Nothing soup fed more Americans through the Great Depression than any government program ever did. Every soup on this list came from the same place. A kitchen with almost nothing in it, and a family that refused to go hungry. These women did not have recipes. They had instincts. They had patience. And they had the kind of determination that turned boiling water and a wilted onion into something worth sitting down for. Which soup would you make tonight? Drop it in the comments. I want to know if nothing soup gets more love than the ketchup soup. And if your grandmother made any of these, tell us. That memory belongs here. Subscribe to Lost American Kitchen, because the food that built this country deserves to be remembered.